Okay. All right. Here we go. So, Flyboy24 here. We talk about NASCAR. Um, you know, recent races, what's going on in the NASCAR world. So if this is something that interests you, or if even if it doesn't, feel free to jump in and we'll talk, we'll chat, ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. I mean, I've been a NASCAR fan for a long time, so I know a good amount about NASCAR. I'm not an expert, but this is a place for fans of NASCAR and pretty much anything that racing to get in here and talk about. So feel free to jump in and we'll chat. All right, so today is April 25th. It is one day after the Bristol race, and it's been a couple weeks since the Texas race. So since we had the Easter break there, it's been an interesting couple days. If you haven't been keeping up with current events or with NASCAR news, there's been a lot that's going on. Namely, the big thing is there's two big things. Yesterday, of course, was Monday, but the race the race at Bristol was yesterday, so due to rain. But the biggest news, other than the race, like this is bigger than who won the race and how it went. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is retiring. Oh boy, yeah. So we will talk about that. Oops, I forgot. So we're gonna talk about the race. We're gonna do a little recap, and then we are also gonna, for 25 times. So we're gonna talk about the race for a bit, for the first half of this, and then the second half we're gonna talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s announcement today in Hendrick Motorsports. We're going to talk about where we see Hendrick Motorsports going. We're going to talk about where we see Dale Earnhardt going. We're going to talk about how it's going to affect racing, like the actual races, and we're also going to talk about how Earnhardt's retirement is going to affect the NASCAR community as a whole. So if you feel strongly about something, feel free to chime in, and we'll get started. So first off, Bristol race. Short track, very short, one of the shortest ones. Martinsville is the shortest, but this is close. Good racing, man. What a great race. It was a lot of fun to watch. My boy Larson, he led a huge amount of laps at the beginning. I mean, to the point where he is the second most. He has led the second most laps in a single Bristol race, and there's only one other person who has beat him. That was Cale Yarborough. When he raced, he led every single lap. So anyway, it's a big race for Kyle Larson. He had a rough finish with about, I think it was either 75 or 50 laps to go. He ended up having a speeding penalty on exit. Oops. Sorry, buddy. So it kind of ruined his chances to win that race. He still had one of the fastest cars on the track, but
Carlo.
But it was still a pretty good race for him.
Stay high. Still there.
So, anyway, Kyle Larson had a good race. He started on the pole because the qualifying was rained out, as was the first initial, race. But finished 6th. He went from, I think, 20th at the tail end of the longest line, which that includes all of the cars that are a lap down, not just the tail end of the lead lap. So that's huge. Came back and still finished 6th. I mean, that's just what Kyle Larson does on a track like this. He's so great. Chase Elliott was a disappointment. Started 2nd and finished, I think, 15th. I mean, still a good race. It's just he never showed speed. Martin Truex Jr. right there.
Green. There's the green flag.
Oh shoot, I forgot to qualify. My bad. I forgot to qualify. Dang it. Oh well, I'll just come from the back. No biggie.
Still there.
Martin Truex Jr. had a really good race, really solid race, challenged up front a lot. I think he ended up winning.
Still there.
Was it him? He might have ended. I think he was the one that ended up winning the 2nd stage, so that's some good points for him.
Still there.
Joey Logano had a good race as well, especially towards the end. Larson.
Still there.
Larson kind of fell off, but a lot of people like Joey Logano.
Clear high.
Jimmy Johnson, though, man, what a race for him. Slowly creeped up, never really made any noise until the very end. But hey, that's when you got to do it.
Still there.
Loved seeing him get up there and get a 2nd race this season. Back-to-back races. So he won at Texas 2 weeks ago.
Still there.
And then this week he won as well. So very good start to the season for him. Well, we're pretty much in the middle of the season now. But really good for him as it relates to points.
You're all clear.
Kyle Larson, I believe, still holds the lead by 27 points.
All clear.
Chase Elliott still in 2nd, I believe.
All clear.
So good races all around. Earnhardt wrecked out. That was tough to see. I think that might have influenced his decision. Who else wrecked out? The normal people, Danica Patrick.
Clear low.
Who's the 38? David Reagan, I think it is. They wrecked out together. I think they're teammates too. So it was a rough race for them. But really, other than that wreck, we just had a lot of little issues. No real huge wrecks per se. If I recall, Granted, I wasn't able to watch the entire race, so I may have missed some things.
That was a great lap.
Like I actually missed how the race ended.
Still there.
Because I was at work still. I was still at work, so I had to kind of watch in increments because I still had stuff I was supposed to do. So unfortunately, I had to do that. But hopefully next week it's not a rained out race. Where are we going next week? Does anyone know? If you know, let me know, because I would like to. I forgot. I think it's not Pocono, is it? Oh, I don't remember.
That was a great lap. Still there. Clear low.
Ooh, that was a big wreck behind me.
All right, yellow's out.
All right, I'm gonna. I really should pit. I'll pit. I'll take 2 tires. I'll do that. Okay. All right, not bad. Granted, I didn't qualify, so I started from the back already.
Get set. Race is going green. There's the green flag. Car high.
Sorry, bud. My bad.
All right, yellow's out.
My bad. That was all me. That was all me.
Get set. Race is going green. There's the green flag.
But anyway, so Bristol was a really great race. A lot of great racing all around. Loved seeing Eric Jones up there. He had a tough end to that race. He did wreck out, I believe. If not, he sustained some pretty heavy damage.
Still there.
Kyle Busch wrecked out too, if I recall. So he sustained a lot of damage, and then I think it ended up quitting on him after a while. At one point after that, he was like running 8th, and then I think he blew a tire. So tough race for him.
All
He has
clear.
had a rough season, man. Kyle Busch. I kind of feel sorry for the guy, but not really, because I don't really care for Kyle Busch as a driver slash a person, which is it's kind of bad.
Still there.
That's how I feel.
You're all clear.
Wait. Come on.
Still there. Clear low.
So that was a tough race for him. What else? What else we can talk about that race?
Car low. Clear low.
The fact that it was just rained out made it for really interesting, especially towards the start.
All
Because,
clear.
granted, they did put some that grip material, like the liquid on the bottom,
Clear low.
which made it really interesting because
Car low.
top lane really didn't come in until like the last 100 laps, which was fine. Definitely made it interesting. Sorry, but definitely made it interesting
Hold your line.
later.
Clear high.
Why can I not take this turn as well?
Car low.
I'm struggling right now for some reason. I don't know why. So that made it
Still
really
there.
interesting. It got a lot of the rubber gone. It got a lot of the rubber away, so it made it hard for that top lane to
All
come
clear.
in. But made for some really interesting racing.
Car
So
low.
yeah, that was cool. All right. Oops, sorry, I got a text.
Still there.
Big one I wanted to talk about today. The race was great, and don't get me wrong. It was really interesting. You know, I loved seeing Jimmy Johnson up there winning the race. That was really great for him. It's unfortunate for
Still
some
there.
other people,
Clear high.
but
Clear low.
still pretty good. Dale Earnhardt Jr., man. We've had 3 big names. He's the third now in the past 2
That was a
years.
great lap.
3 big names that have retired from the sport. And I think it has to do with, this is a generational thing. It's really interesting. You know, there's a lot of veterans out there, but they're all in their mid-30s to late 40s, you know? You got Jimmy Johnson, I think he's like 45 or so. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is about the same age. Carl Edwards retired last year before the beginning of this season.
Still there.
That was a huge surprise. I did not see that one coming. Jeff Gordon retired beginning of last year. You know, so in the last 2 years, some big names have left the sport, and not just the sport, but like Hendrick Motorsports. I don't know how they're feeling, because they've lost 2 of their best drivers they've ever had, in Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon, in the past 2 years. It's kind of been a shakeup, because the past, you know, I don't know, 15 years almost, they've pretty much had the same guys. It's Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon. And then they got really, I don't know if I would say lucky, but they hit the nail on the head with Chase Elliott, man. What a great kid to have on your team as a rookie, or a newbie, that is. You know, really great driver, great person.
There's trouble in turn 2.
Really great to have it on the team. Dale Earnhardt Jr., though, has been a staple of NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports, especially ever since really he joined NASCAR. Really, I mean, I wasn't born. Well, I had just been born. I was like maybe 5 years old when Dale Earnhardt Jr. joined the scene. I think he was in 1999, and so I didn't really get into NASCAR until I was maybe 16 or so. But really, ever since then, I mean, he's been the guy, the face of NASCAR. He's won the most popular driver award so many years in a row. So many years in a row.
All clear.
But like, you think of NASCAR, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. You know, not just because of the history of his family and the sport, but because of what he's done for the sport. I mean, he has made a social media presence, a pop culture I mean, he has made NASCAR what it is now. He really, I mean, not just him, but for the most part, it's been him. So give me 1 second. I need to pause the stream real quick. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. Oops, that was not good.
Car high.
Back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. So, I'm sad to see him go. I'm not surprised.
Car low. You're all clear.
I really think his concussions shook him. That was, I think, really the kicker for him, unfortunately. That was tough because it took him out of the sport. It kind of made him reflect. But I think that was kind of the beginning of the end for him, is that concussion
all clear.
Back in last year. I watched a majority of the press conference this morning. It's
still there.
His sentiments are my sentiments. It's bittersweet.
Car high.
Great driver to have on the track. It's going to be hard to see him, to imagine NASCAR without him.
Clear high. Car low.
But I think it's for the best. He's kind of fallen off in the past few years. I mean, yeah, he's been still competitive, but it just hasn't been the same. So like I said, I'm not surprised. It kind of sucks.
There's trouble in turn 4.
Throw the caution. Come on. Man. I need a pit. I got a pit.
You're in the wrong pit lane.
My bad. I don't know where it is.
Watch those tires.
Okay. 4 tires. Yeah, I got to repair that damage. Anyway, that was a really bad lap for me, so I'm going to lose quite a few spots. I was hoping the caution would come out and I'd be stuck on the lead lap. I wouldn't have to go laps down, but starting from the back, it's rather tough. Anyway, so yeah, Dale Earnhardt, man, to imagine him away from the sport is like, I don't know, getting pizza without cheese. You just can't. It's hard to imagine having it, or having it like that. So, sad to see him go. Like I've said, not surprised though. But where's, I'm interested to see where the sport goes from here. Oh man, I'm 2 laps down. Sheesh. 39th. That sucks. All right. Well, this race is pretty much over for me, so I'm just got to kind of ride around. That was unfortunate. I forgot to do my qualifying. I can't believe I did that. I forgot to do qualifying and started the race and was like, oh boy. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? That's fine. I'm gonna start it over, but the race, that is, not the stream. Just so I can get a little bit more excitement here. Anyway, so Dale Earnhardt Jr. gone is tough.
Go!
It's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. I mean, it's probably for the best, in my opinion. But it's hard to imagine NASCAR without Dale Earnhardt Jr. Without really, I mean, other than Jeffrey Earnhardt, the Earnhardt name being in there, So there's a lot of speculation, regarding why. I don't really know for sure. I couldn't tell you. I don't know the guy. I wasn't in the meeting with Eric Hendrick and Dale Earnhardt, so don't ask me. Ask them. But I don't think they'll tell you anyway. Oh, it's the 40th? What? Yikes. Oh, boy. I need something better than that, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not on it today. Let's do a shorter race. Let's make it shorter. Let's since we're already, you know, a little ways into this. But where does the sport go from here? You kind of lost your face of NASCAR. Who's going to step up? I think Jimmy Johnson for now is a great option.
Go, go, go!
He's a great face of NASCAR. Really stand-up guy. Great racer. 7-time champion. You couldn't have a better option other than Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the most a popular driver and be the face of the sport. So I think he's going to be the poster child, you know, for the sport. Once he retires, though, I expect him only to be here for a couple of years. But once he leaves, it's going to be one of these young guns that's coming up. Maybe Chase Elliott, if he starts winning some races. There we go. That's much better. Winning some races. You know, maybe Kyle Larson or Ryan Blaney.
Race is going green.
Kyle Busch.
There's the
Some
green
of these
flag.
younger guys can step up and really, you know, bring NASCAR to a whole other group of people. So we'll see. We will see. I am very interested to see where NASCAR goes from here without Dale Earnhardt Jr. So, oh boy.
Clear low. All clear. There's trouble in turn 4.
That's a big wreck. I'm not pitting. Why not? Why should I pit? Sorry, that was my bad.
Get set. Race is going green. Car high. Clear high.
So yeah, NASCAR is not going to have Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's where we are right now. I mean, we still got a lot of the season to go, so he's still here for a while.
That was a great lap.
You know, don't be fretting. You know, like, oh, NASCAR's not going to be the same. It's just gonna fall off the face of the earth without him. That's not going to happen. I mean, NASCAR's here to stay. It's the pretty much all-American sport other than football. So
that was a great lap.
You know, like I said, I'm sad to see him go. Not surprised, but interested to see where NASCAR's going to take it from here. You know, so going to see who steps up, who you know really becomes the face of NASCAR. So very, very interested to see what happens here. So anyway. Who do I think is going to step up
That was a great lap.
within Hendrick Motorsports, though? That's my question, because Hendrick Motorsports has actually had a really great, you know, team and kind of formula for the past few years. Even with Jeff Gordon leaving, you know, you already have Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt, some very established competitors. You have Casey Kane, who, despite not being the best competitor, is a very great resource. He's been in the series a long time. He knows a lot about racing, and he can teach a lot of the young guns about how NASCAR works. And then, man, they just hit it out of the park with Chase Elliott. Yeah, he hasn't won a race yet. So what? Man, he's second in points right now. He's doing better in points than Jimmy Johnson is. I mean, we'll see how the season pans out, but man, I've been impressed with that kid since the day he stepped into that car. I was a huge Jeff Gordon fan. I was so sad to see him go. I didn't know Chase Elliott. You know, I was a little apprehensive at first, but man, has he stepped up. It's been great to see that. So you had two veterans, and Jimmy Johnson.
20 to go.
And three veterans: Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Casey Kane, and a young gun that's just rocking it with Chase Elliott. But now, all you have is Jimmy Johnson, who, let's be honest, how many more good years does he have left? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's an excellent driver, excellent, by far one of the best, if not the best. But you know, he's getting up there in age. I'm not gonna lie. So we will see what happens with that. Who do I think is going to step into his place? There's a lot of options. The Xfinity Series has, for the past couple years, has had some of the best young competitors I've ever seen. Ever seen. I mean, you've got Tyler Reddick. He was really great in the truck series.
All right, that's halfway.
And then you've got William Byron, who's just making waves right now. Eric Jones, yeah, he's on Furniture Row Racing, and they'll probably keep him because he's actually been doing really well there. But you know, there's a possibility of a trade there somewhere. Maybe give him like Casey Kane, and take. Well, then you'd still need a fourth guy, or maybe not even run 4 cars. You know, who says Hendrick Motorsports needs to run 4 cars? Just saying. I know I'm kind of riding around right now, guys, but I had the other one was rough. Oh boy, lots of smoke up there. I think a good option, though, would be William Byron. I think he is an excellent driver for his age. I think that with having Jimmy Johnson, who's a very, very good but veteran competitor, Casey Kane, who's an average but you know, but he's a veteran, average competitor, but he's a veteran. And then you've got Chase Elliott, who's an excellent competitor but a young rookie. You know, if you bring in someone like William Byron or Daniel Suarez is taken. Who else? William Byron just stands out to me. You know, excellent driver, young kid. I say go with a young kid, kind of like Chase Elliott. You know, one that has proven himself in the previous series. But if you do that, you have 2 veterans. And then 2 young kids who, you know, you can groom and get experience and build up your team for the future. That's my suggestion to Rick Hendrick and the team. One other option they could do is do if there's a driver that really wants to get out of their team that's a veteran, you know, maybe I wouldn't say Clint Boyer because he just got in a great team. But something like that, you know, or switching teams. Maybe Carl Edwards comes back. I don't know if he ever announced his retirement. I think he more of announced his sabbatical, like a break from racing per se. So, you know, this could be an opportunity for Carl Edwards' comeback. You know, took a year away from racing, and now he's going to be back on Hendrick Motorsports, and can be very competitive. So I was surprised to see him go. So I think, you know, someone like Carl Edwards is actually a really good option, despite, you know, having retired already, theoretically retired. I need to watch my tires. Carl Edwards, very great veteran. Yeah, he's been retired from the sport for a year, but you never know. I don't want to, you know, make any assumptions really, but I think William Byron is a great option.
Clear.
It's hard to say because if I had my way, I would say William Byron stay in Xfinity Series 1 more year and then like sign him like as a temporary guy. You know, run 3 cars next year and then a 4th every so often. And kind of groom him and kind of see where he turns out, how he turns out. But you know, I think he's a good option. So anyway, we're coming to the end here. I don't see anyone in the chat right now, but I'm going to extend it to anyone who's watching later. But if you have any opinions, you know, about the race, how it went, the season so far, and if you especially have any questions or opinions about Dale Earnhardt Jr. and you know, his announcement today, please feel free. Let me know. I would love to chat with you about it. I'd love to get your opinion on it.
Watch those tires.
The tires are getting so low. I don't want to blow a tire. I've never gotten this low on my tires, but I have a lot of time still.
Last lap.
Oh, I got this. Barely gonna get this.
Great job.
Barely. All right, I finished where Jimmy Johnson finished this week. Okay, like I said, feel free to let me know your opinions, your questions, your reactions to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s announcement today, and where do you see him going from now? Where do you see NASCAR going for now? Where do you see Hendrick Motorsports going now? There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of places, things that can happen, or places they can go, and things that can happen. But, you know, let me know. I'd love to talk about it. So, all right, have a good week. We'll see you next week. What's next week's race? Before I go, I want to check that. Richmond. Ooh, good race. Good race for Richmond. Love it. So, anyway, look forward to Richmond. Look forward to talking with you, and have a good week. We'll see you.